Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this Live with CDP podcast on Monday, February 14th, 2022. This is season 3, episode 4 of Live with CDP podcast. And I'm looking forward to my guest today. His name is Tommy Condell. He's the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the CFL's Hamilton Tiger Cats. And he's also a 2017 Grey Cup champion, a part of the coaching staff with the Toronto Argonauts. Now, I hope Tommy doesn't mind me being an Argos fan since 1979, but I have a lot of respect for the Hamilton Tiger Cats franchise. And like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about his career in football, in coaching, and also the CFL. A lot of free agent moves right now, crazy stuff. And going to try to get Tommy's reaction on Brandon Banks signing with the evil empire in Toronto. So anyways, just give me one moment and I will bring on the offensive coordinator for the CFL's Hamilton Tiger Cats. Good afternoon, Tommy. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. It's the sun is shining, so I'm excited.
Definitely. Like I said, today's Monday, and it's kind of a blue Monday for me because there's no football now until May.
Well, shoot, we had what a great game last night, and now to me, we're only about 4 months away until we really kick off training camp or something like that. So it's right around the corner. We're in the midst of preparations for the upcoming season, and not only from a player acquisition portion of it, but certainly looking at the schemes and things of that nature from a quality control.
And I was going to say, before we get into some questions in the CFL stuff, just quickly, quick thoughts on the Super Bowl last night and who you were cheering with, and where do you see the Bengals needing to improve on if they want to take that next step, winning the Super Bowl next year?
I was certainly a fan. I wanted to get a chance to just see a great game, and which we did. It was competitive all throughout. I've really enjoyed the whole Joe Burrow and how he progressed, and the Cincinnati Bengals progressed from another year where would they win like 3 or 4 games or something of that nature, and then to be able to create that mojo and go into other venues, go on the road and win the games that they did under duress. It was a lot of fun. And then getting a chance to see the Rams. So I didn't have, any really skin in the game. I didn't really know any of the coaches on the other side or players for that matter. So I sat back, and enjoyed it with my sons and was cheering kind of both sides, tell you the truth. Yeah. I didn't have really a strong point of each one, but I was pretty excited just to get a chance to watch those guys. And then all of a sudden Cooper Kupp make those plays. And they were so adamantly going towards him at the end. In order for them to put them in the best position possible. I got a chance to see, and it's hard to see during the game because of the film in regards to the angle, but to kind of see the adjustments that they were making and stuff like that. So I enjoyed the game. Me and my sons, we made some nachos. We had some hamburgers and hot dogs. So, and I had a few cold beers. So it was a productive night. We enjoyed it, and it wasn't that late. So I was able to go to bed a little bit early.
I was going to say, there's a couple of CFL connections with that team. Zach Taylor was a third-string quarterback on the Blue Bombers, I believe, in 2007, and also Joe Burrow's dad, Jim, was a defensive back in the CFL from 76 to 81.
Yes, and it's funny. One of our former colleagues that was actually with me in Hamilton is actually down at as the O-line guy at Ohio University. So that's in Athens where they're all from. And I know that Joe's dad coached there at Ohio U with the staff and know them very, very well. And they were supporting them and making sure they were cheering hard for them.
I was gonna say, and the Rock even had a little CFL connection too with Calgary in '95, I believe.
Yep. Football itself is special in that regard. It really cross pollinates in a lot of different avenues, and you never know where you might know this person from or this person from. It's been an exciting adventure for myself as kind of growing up playing football, then getting on into the coaching realm of it, and just see that sometimes it's not even 6 degrees of separation. It's just a kind of a stone throws away, so to speak.
Well, and I grew up as a CFL fan back in the '70s. I'm old now. I'm 49, but I've always loved the CFL, the NFL, and the college football in the states. And I've always enjoyed the differences. I never like, well, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I
Yep.
just enjoy 3 downs. I enjoy 4 down, and we're lucky in Canada because we get both leagues. And as far as I'm concerned, the other leagues like the USFL starting up, XFL, I don't know. I just prefer to stick with what I know.
Football's football. So
Yeah.
I was very fortunate. I was born and raised in upstate New York. So being born and raised, and my mother is from Niagara on the American side, but certainly, with had a cottage at Lewiston, and so I was always up here, and certainly during the summer when I turned that TV on, we got a chance to see the CFL games, and had a strong connection to the CFL with actually one of my coaches growing up actually coached in Winnipeg and things of that nature. So I was always interested in football, and anytime I could get football year round, I certainly was going to get it. I don't care if it's college, pro, NFL, CFL. I could care less what it was. I was just happy to be a part of it and watching it.
Okay. I'm going to get to some questions, and for this one I was going to save later, but I thought I would ask it now. Can you just give me quick thoughts on Brandon Banks, Speedy B, and Jeremiah Mazzorelli leaving the Tiger
Masoli.
Cats, and former receiver Luke Tasker, who I was a huge fan of, and his father Steve, who retired after the 2019 season?
Golly, I can tell you that would be the whole show, to tell you the truth, with all those three. First, not in any order. I'm just going to kind of
Okay.
reverse since you said Luke Tasker. Luke and I have been together since he was 18. So it was going to Cornell University, getting a chance to coach him there and see his growth, not only as a player, but as an individual and as a man, and then ultimately getting married, and now he has 3 sons. I have 4 sons, so he's rapidly catching up to me, I can tell you. So very excited. I know he does the radio forces as well, and I didn't get a chance to see him. We stay in contact, especially and from different scenarios. But enjoy Luke, and what a pleasure to get a chance to be a part of him and his growth, and also just get a chance to carry it on in the pro level. That rarely ever happens. A lot of times, going from college, seeing him at that age, all the way through to pro, and be a part of winning some things and getting really close, and great fond memories of Luke, and just from the Cornell Big Red all the way to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So Luke is obviously really special in that regard. But Jeremiah Masoli, I think, was the second one. Jeremiah, just wish so much great thoughts, and Jeremiah gave his blood, guts, and prepared every way, shape or form. We've been together since, golly, I want to say it was like 2013. We were able to trade for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the growth that he has had so I was with him in 13, 14, 15, then came back in 19 and then this past year, and just the continuous growth. Again, not only as a chance as a player, and just to see his trajectory as that, because of his preparation. A lot of people don't see what goes behind doors, the hours and hours, and him getting up there nice early in the morning, and getting a chance to watch film, ask the questions, and stay late at night, way past practice time and that kind of thing. So, really happy for Jeremiah and his family. And for them to get an opportunity, I know, in Ottawa, and cheering for his individual success. But certainly they're part of our Eastern Division, so we want to get a chance to beat them as well. But really honored to get a chance to work with Jeremiah for all those years, and he helped me become a better coach, certainly, and just have great thoughts of that. With Brandon came in 2013 when I was here. So Brandon was in Washington for a while. So Brandon came in right I'd say in the mid part of the year, right around there. And we immediately started utilizing him. He was an unbelievable returner as well. He's going to be, obviously he's the future Hall of Famer. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and there's no one, arguably have done what he did. And especially during those years in 13, 14, 15, when we were together as a returner, punt returner, and then obviously field goal returner. Wow. Is there anyone else better than Brandon Bakes doing that? And as he evolved and we used him in those packages, but he was so valuable in the return aspect. It was hard to even get a chance to utilize him on the offensive side, but we did. Got some package sets for him as 13, 14, and 15. And as he grew and he grew older, his receiver, his skill, and all the things of his route running and things of that nature took over, and he went on that path. And to get a chance to be a part of his MOP 2019, most yards that he had and all that business, and he really tore it up. So excited for Speedy B. I know those things, and going to the team that should not be named, but we'll miss Speedy, and certainly little Speedy, his son as well.
I was going to say it's going to just add to the rivalry even more. And this is great. I'd like to see the rivalry get back to what it was like in the 80s, because it was pretty vicious back in the 80s when I was growing up with Al Bruno against Bob Obilovich.
Yeah. Yeah. It's starting to reach those pinnacles, especially when they're signing those players to come on over. And I think as the teams, I think both teams have done a great job, and we're looking forward to getting a chance to compete against Toronto, and wish Speedy the success that he deserves, because he's worked extremely hard and has accomplished so many things in the black and gold, black and yellow, excuse me. And I'm not gonna believe that he's ever gonna suit up there. I'm just not gonna believe that. I'm always gonna think Speedy with the Hamilton Ticat colors and running down the field, making touchdowns, and I can't think that other way. I just can't.
Well, it's same with Chad Owens. When Chad Owens left Toronto to came to Hamilton, I'm like, this does not look right. Chad Owens is an Argonaut, so I guess we're kind of just making up for you guys taking Chad Owens off of us a couple years ago, and he's one of my favorite players too.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to work with Chad. I know Chad. We've talked and know mutual people, so always loved how he played the game and how he attacked it. So, but didn't get a chance because when I left and went with Mark Trestman in Toronto, we didn't ever cross paths.
Okay. I was going to say, and 2013 is when you first came to Hamilton, and that's when you guys played your games in Guelph. So I actually, as an Argos fan, I actually went to 4 of your games and saw Luke's first game against Calgary on September 28th, and then also Speedy Banks and Jeremiah. So they were all rookies on that team that played the year in Guelph.
Oh, gosh, yeah, in Guelph. The thing that I remember about Guelph, too, was it seemed like it rained every game that we had there, and like we didn't have like any booths. They were just like makeshift tents, and the rain would just pound you, coming on through here. And but that I remember. And obviously when we played Montreal, and when we kicked, then Montreal kicked it all the way here, and it just kind of went right back. It was so rainy. Oh gosh, that's what I remember about Guelph. And also heading up there when we would drive there. So, when we had a home game, me and Alan Rudolph would drive up there, our old line guy, and we loved that drive. Just loved it, especially when it's starting to turn colors and stuff like that. There's no better place when you kind of driving up through Guelph and all that. But I did not like the actual rain. I can tell you that it was too darn cold.
The weather and the thing is, we've been lucky in Guelph because we had you guys there in 13, and now the Argos I think are going to come back to the Guelph location because I was talking to Mike Hogan and he was very impressed with the setup at the University of Guelph.
Oh, it's a great school. It has a lot of. I know when we went back there a few years back, and I think we played a preseason game. I mean, obviously it's changed dramatically since then, and they had great facilities then, so it has a lot of things to offer.
And I had Mike Hogan on my podcast a couple weeks ago, so he wanted me to say hi to you and just said, hey, he's a really good guy. And I said to Mike, I'm lucky because it took me a while to get guests on my podcast a couple years ago, and now I've been able to get a lot of guys on, and now it's great to have somebody who's a coach in the CFL like yourself come on. And I've always enjoyed your work in the CFL as well.
Well, I appreciate it. Anything that can grow the game, and in particular grow the CFL and get it out to the fans, I'm willing to do anything of that. It's a great game. It's given myself and my family a lot, and not only from growth, but it's a great game, and the people that are a part of it. If everyone could see the players and the coaches and Mike and all those people that make this CFL great, I'm willing to do it.
And I'm just hoping, like I said, I'm just hoping to keep getting guys on from the CFL as well, because I really love the CFL as much as I love the NFL, and learning stuff from my guests or people in the industry as well. And I was going to say my last CFL game, unfortunately, was June 2018, the Argonauts Grey Cup home opener against Calgary. And unfortunately, one of my favorite all-time players, Ricky Ray, played in his last game there. That injury was pretty tough to watch, even from the stands.
Yes, I actually remember that game and with Ricky, but as anything and how the season progressed, but the growth and also that I was able to be a part of. We with that staff. I mean, we had Ricky Ray, Anthony Cavillo was there as well, Mark Tressman. So it was like quarterback U back then. So it was awesome to be involved in all those meetings and get a chance to really, you're picking two Hall of Fame players all the time, right? And seeing what they're seeing, how they're doing it with their footwork, their vision, all those things, and to be able to get a chance to have that on a daily basis was awesome.
I was going to say, in the last 8-9 years, look at the great quarterbacks you've had. Henry Burris, Jeremiah, obviously, and then you went to Toronto, had Ricky Ray, and then you had Zach. Oh, sorry, I forgot about Zach.
Can't forget about Zach. Can't forget about Zach.
One Grey Cup with the Argonauts as a backup, and then 2 back-to-back with Winnipeg. And then look who you've had in Hamilton with Jeremiah, Ricky Ray in Toronto, then Jeremiah, and now Dane Evans as well.
Yep. All those guys they're the same in regards to their makeup of trying to. They're gym rats, but also their competitive nature. But they're all also different, in regards to let it be motivation and how they do things. And it's just been an amazing journey to get a chance to be a part of those guys' lives, and not only to hopefully impart some of the knowledge that I had and prepare them, but it's a two-way street. We always talk about iron sharpens iron and being accountable to each other. And that's what we do. And to get a chance to be a part of, like you said, Henry in 2013, and then Zach came over, and just to watch his growth and continued growth, and to see these, and it's kind of a broken record, but you see these players come in and they're young men, and as they mature, and all of a sudden, you go to weddings, and now you're getting all these cards, like Zach's got 2 girls of his own, and married, and it's just been awesome to be a part of that, part of their lives, not only from a football sense, but from also a personal sense.
And I was gonna say, and I've always believed this in football too. A team's not, it's not just it's football is the ultimate team game, I think. But to me, it starts with the D line and the O line, and you need a quarterback as well. But the quarterback also needs that offense line to protect him and give him the time to make the throws as well.
No doubt. Obviously you need a quarterback. There's no doubt. I think I used the term Bud Grant. Bud Grant used to say, said, a good coach needs a what was it? A good wife, a loyal dog, and a good quarterback, but not necessarily in that order. You know what I mean? So,
Definitely.
You're absolutely right. It always starts up front. I think to be able to get pressure on the quarterback and also defeat pressure on the quarterback go hand in hand. So, the games in that sense has not changed. It's a physical aspect of the game and to be able to protect the quarterback. But like you said, it's intertwined. You have to have all the team together, not only from to win, to get you the possibility of success for that game, right? I mean, it takes so much. It's not even just the darn players. It's the coaches. It's the trainers. It's a list of people now, and just to be able to, it doesn't take one. It takes a village now, and to be able to have that and being in Hamilton in particular, we have that. We have the weight coach. We have the trainers and Claire and Maui doing a great job, but also the equipment. Drew Stroshine. Those guys behind the scenes that no one knows about. Those are the people that make up the culture, because it's great to go into work and see a smiling face. And we haven't even talked about the people that also are responsible for the food that have a. No, they probably have the most impact.
Yeah, and I'm learning. I'm with Rogers TV as a camera operator for the Gold Storm, and I know it's different. It's TV instead of football, but people don't realize how much work there is in a live production of a sporting event. Set up, tear down. You need the producer who's like the quarterback. He has to know all aspects. Audio guys, the camera guys. Everybody has to work together, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah. And most coaches and players in particular, you ask them what they miss the most. It's going to be the locker room. And really what that is the day-to-day interaction with each other, and then going to compete and putting everyone on for the same goal. And they're coming from tons of different areas, different socioeconomic, different countries, all those things. And to be able to formalize that, bring them all together and pull the same rope. And Orlando does a tremendous job of that. And he's done that. To be able to have that one, create an individual, be able to be an individual, but under a collective team mindset. And that's not easy in this day and age, I can tell you.
And one thing I've learned too recently with CFL, obviously with Winnipeg, but now Hamilton's done this for the last 9 years. Toronto, I think, slowly doing this. Stability. The fans like to know who their coaches are, and obviously coaches leave and change, players, free agents and stuff. But stability is huge with an organization.
And for me, Hamilton has been able to be a part of that. When the years that we've been together here in Hamilton, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20. I mean, the Bob Young and Scott Mitchell, to be able to give you that sense of consistency. If you have that consistency and to be able to put a winning product on the field, it goes to those individuals that actually say, yes, let's do that. Because if you don't have that, then really none of it matters underneath the umbrella, right? You can paddle as hard as you can, but if you don't have the correct boat, you're not going anywhere, right? Absolutely. And that's important to be able to, like you say, stability. That stability comes from not only the ownership, but also the ability to say yes within that ownership and say, hey, these are the things that we're going to do in order to, for whatever it takes to win.
Definitely. And when I was growing up in the 70s, being an Argos fan, I grew up with Conrich Holloway, Terry Greer, Cedric Mentor, and then Bob Ovilovich took over the team in '82, and they started winning. But then you started identifying with the players too, and that's great for the fans as well.
I think so. To be able to go in there and with the merchandise and have a number and that kind of thing, and that's why it's important. And I know we've done a really good job here in a lot of ways, is to have a 2-year deals. So you can have that stability as a player, and it's not easy because it's a players league, right? Any professional sports, that's where the players play and they make the league in regards to that, and make no bones about that. So I certainly wish all the success that they can have from a money standpoint, from a personal standpoint, but to be able to really connect to the fans, to have that stability has been great. If we can get those guys, and we have for the this past free agency period, some 2-year deals, so we can create that consistency, not only for the fan, but also the coach. That they're going to be there for those 2 years. You hate to lose or say goodbye to some of those players, and some of them you have to. They just have gone on, and the budget's the budget. And as much as I want, trust me, I want the filet mignons all the time. Let's go. But I mean, you can't break the budget. There's a whole other facet of the game.
And that's true too. So, and I imagine when these guys do leave, you still keep in touch with them as well.
Certainly, a lot of those guys, it's part of the job, not only to have this make them grow as a player, but hopefully progress them as a man as well in their decisions. And it's a symbiotic relationship. It's certainly not just one-sided on that. So, and then as they go and expand, and that's just part of the growth. And it's part, as much as you don't like to see it sometimes, as much as I don't want to see them in any colors except black and yellow, I also understand that they must go on as well.
It's a business. Okay. Are you still good for a few questions?
Sure.
Okay. First one I wanted to ask you is, can you just tell my audience just a little bit about yourself, and when did you decide you wanted to pursue a career in football as a player? And then did you know right away after you were done playing that you wanted to get into the coaching aspect of it?
Sure. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. I've already stated that I was born and raised in upstate New York. So I really got a chance to not only have the 3 different phases of football and loved every minute of it, meaning college and NFL and then the CFL. So I knew all about the teams and that kind of thing. So, and then when I started playing when I was really, really young, and I was nowhere near as a great player as the players that I'm coaching now, and as I progressed through it and got a chance afterwards and was done in college, that's when I knew, I certainly wasn't going to be a professional player, but I loved the game. I loved being a part of it. I loved everything about it, right? The actual teaching of it and getting a chance to be a more of a motor learning and educator in that style. And I always thought that was one of the hardest types of educators, not only to teach them the grand schemes of things, but also the motor learning pathways that had to be a part of that. And then you throw in the chaos of the game and everything that goes along with it, the decisions. And there's a handful of things that you can control. And then there's a huge part that you can't control, and kind of loved everything about it. And that's what, I like the illusion of the control of the schematics of it's an ever moving chessboard. It's a floating chessboard that goes across and you're trying to move pieces. And then not only are you trying to move pieces in this game, but they're actual human beings. So something that could be bothering them that day, and then they're trying to get hit. So to me, it was just a game that was ever changing. And with my personality, and probably some ADHD that I have, that I wanted the ever changing thing of it. and that's kind of led me to football, not only as a player, but really into coaching. And then once I graduated, I actually went down south and was at McNeese State, and was down there for a while and back and forth. Got my first, and I want to work with a pro team every summer. So every summer I would send some things out. I was in the Arena League, and then I was actually in Winnipeg when I was really young. Got a chance to guest coach there. That parlayed into some other things in regards to coaching and special teams coordinator, and did that. Golly, I was so young. I was like 25 or something like that. But started there, and then all of a sudden it just kept on rolling. Went back to McNeese and with Stephen F. Austin, and met my wife there. She's from Texas, so I spent probably, I don't know, probably right around 10 years down south. From Louisiana and Texas. Two of my boys, one my first one was born in Texas. Two were born in right above New Orleans. And then the fourth one was actually born in Ithaca, New York, at Cornell University. So we've had a nice long, and then came up here in 2013. And
is that where you met Kent? Sorry, is that where you met Kent Austin?
No, I actually met Kent really because he was the offensive coordinator in Toronto when I was in Ottawa. So I met him then.
Okay.
And then when I was the offensive coordinator in Sask, I want to say in 2006, and with Danny Barrett was the head coach, and also George Cortez was the O-line coach. Learned a great deal from those guys, and then we played in the finals, the Western Finals that year, but against BC, they had a squad. I mean, they had Cameron Wake. They had a defense. I mean, they had, I think, Dave Dixon was the quarterback. They ended up winning it all, but golly, they were a good team. We ended up playing there in the Western Final. We lost, and then Kent came in as the head coach. Met him there, and but I got a job offer down in southeastern Louisiana, down there in Hammond, Louisiana. So went back to the NCAA and was doing that. I got closer to Mandy's parents from right around Houston. So did that, and actually then he left Sask and he was at Ole Miss. And so we're playing Ole Miss. So we meet there. And then I want to say that year, the next year, he went off to Cornell and called and asked me if I'd be interested. And again, my hometown is Utica, New York, right? So I mean, that's 2 hours, about 2 hours away from Ithaca, New York. And it was a great honor to go up to Cornell and was there. I honestly didn't think I was coming back to the CFL. And, Kent came to the CFL, and I followed and got a chance to be here for 3 years. And then it went into with Mark Trestman, learned a great deal from Mark. It was a great opportunity and got a chance to be there. And obviously I'm still close with Mark and all the guys that were there. So, and then got a chance when Orlando became the head coach. I certainly was excited and couldn't pass it up to come back.
I think he's as good a head coach as he was a player.
Oh, I remember him as a player, and he was a heck of a player. I think he's more of a better head coach than he was a player. That's how good he is now with that. He's very level-headed. Like I said and alluded to earlier, he's able to balance the individuality along the team construct. He's able to do that not only with coaches, but with players, and to always want the best and have a great positive mindset in regards to as we go. And obviously the proof's in the pudding, no matter what personnel that's been out there. Orlando and the powers that be have put us in a position to be in the last two Grey Cups.
I was gonna say, I was cheering for you guys against Winnipeg. I know I shouldn't be saying this as an Argo fan, but I really have a lot of respect for Bob Young, Scott Mitchell, and your organization. And you guys are so very close. And I do really think next year, whoever wins between Hamilton and Toronto has got a very good chance of winning the Grey Cup. I don't know if Winnipeg can win 3 years in a row.
Well, I sure the heck hope not. I can tell you that. It was a great. It was a challenging year, but it was a great year in regards to getting back to playing football and just being involved in football. And can't wait to get started next year or this year coming up for the season, and just to have a lot more normalcy in regards to the season and the progression of the season. So looking forward to it. We certainly want to win it for these fans here, these loyal fans that we have. And they're not only in the Hamilton area, but everywhere, because I got texts and messages from a lot of different areas. Not only from from Canada either. It was special, and certainly wanted to finish it. I wish we did. We were really darn close and didn't even want to get it to overtime.
I was going to say, no, I was going to ask you, Tommy, you already answered where you went to school. Did you have any mentors that mentored you when you were breaking into the coaching industry?
The mentors, as they kept, all the coaches that I worked with became those. I didn't have like someone that was, assisting in regards to kind of guiding me in my path or setting me into contact with a lot, like as you see, let's see in the NFL, all of a sudden you see the Shanahan tree from his dad, and then all of a sudden they kind of sprout and they get here. I didn't have that, I didn't play at a high level of football in regards to that Division III level. And so, my contacts weren't those. I kind of worked, I worked my way in and slept on the ground and in the training room or something like that, just to get a chance. And then those mentors became those along the staff that helped me to get to where I wanted to go. Like guys that I first started at McNeese was obviously Mike Santiago was there. He was the offensive coordinator and then took me over to another place. And each staff had a mentor that helped and assist me. It wasn't like someone just kind of guided me along on that way. And part of that's a tough part about this business, but the good part about it is that I was able to really interact with a lot of different systems. And during those times, so I things happen fast, in my career in regards to play calling and things. I started like calling plays at 27 and have been doing that really almost ever since, right? All the way through. And so the trial by an error I still have, but the learning from it has really helped me. It hasn't just been in one system and one system only. I've been able to really be a part of a bunch of different systems and have the ability to learn from a bunch of different people that not were only on the staff that I was at, but also I can easily go to somewhere else.
Okay. And my next question I was going to ask you, Tommy. 1 second. I forgot. Here's where I had to write it down. How much of an adjustment was it coming to Canada and learning the CFL game? How long did it take you a while to adjust it, and the travel aspect of being a coach as well, if you don't mind mentioning that too?
The travel too?
Yeah.
I think from the CFL, obviously coming up, especially, it is challenging. There, that 12th man plays heck on you. I can tell you in regards to different things when you're used to the down south version. But if you can use it as the same as, like this is the same as that, and that's especially what I do with quarterbacks coming up and coaching them. I teach them through their eyes in regards to what they saw down south and really put it as an analogy. And if I could do that for most of the things, then I know we're on top of things. But there is an adjustment, and the movement, the dynamic movement of the whole thing, the field, certainly when you're on the hash, in the NFL, if from hash to like if you're on the left hash and it's from hash to like the sideline, that's the same. It's basically the same. It's 24 yards, right? But in between those hashes and all the way out, it's totally different. You get like 40. It's over 40 yards from hash to the sideline to the field. That's huge. Where the NFL, if you see their hash, the numbers, that's our sideline. You look at the NFL, that's their numbers. That's our hash marks. That's it, our hash. So the field itself is huge. The waggle and the disguise element that it also assists on the defense is another thing that's a little bit different. So it was a adjustment coming to Canada. Always is for anybody that comes up here. But on the sense, football's football. Hey, there's man, there's zone. What are they trying to do from a pressure stance? But for a quarterback to be able to kind of calm themselves down to see where their eye fixes need to be, that's the important thing. And if I could say, hey, it's the same as this, it's the same as that, this is just here, and tell them about the waggle and the disguise element of that, then it makes it a heck of a lot easier. But the coverages are similar, but a little. You're not going to have it as much like in the NFL. You have more of I'll say static, but it's not. It's just standing still. But the coverages that they can do. There's one less player, so it's easier to be able to see the contours, the middle field open, if you will, two safeties, single safety. It's a lot easier to see those things. Over here, there's multiple people, so they're spinning and moving and grooving. So there is an adjustment for anyone that comes from the 11-man game, if you will, to the 12-man game. There is an adjustment that you need to make, and to be able to interpret that adjustment is huge for the development of the quarterbacks that come up here from the 11-man game. But you're talking about the travel, right, for my wife and everybody.
Yeah, for it must be hard on the family life too sometimes.
Yeah, I've been very, very fortunate in regards to that as well. Yes, the nomadic life of a coach can certainly put a lot of pressure on the family element of it, and not just the moving part of it, but just being in the public eye and the wins and losses on the TV and stuff like that with your kids, because they go to school, they're not, it's a lot different. Back in the day when you and I were kids, we didn't have any of these phones,
no phones, no internet.
You only had to worry about like the paper, but now there's you don't have to worry just about one paper, or maybe two papers. It's the internet, it's everyone else, so it takes a special wife and a special family but we do it together, and that's what makes it strong. I've been very fortunate in regards to not having to move. I live in Canada, and that because I didn't want to be 6 months away from my sons. I have four of them, and I just didn't want to miss that time if I didn't have to. And sometimes you can't choose that, and sometimes you just have to be away and that kind of thing. But I have a special wife, and that's why I only got a few more questions because I got to, Valentine's Day is big now, brother. I can tell you. So I got to, but we're certainly, I'm very, very thankful to have a wife that's understandable, that actually lets me do what I get to do. That's what it comes down to. She lets me do what I love to do.
Okay, just leaves me one last question I wanted to ask you. Obviously, you mentioned what you love about the coaching staff, the hardest aspect. What is a normal day like on a Tiger Cats game day for an offensive coordinator and a quarterbacks coach?
Okay, on a game day. All right, so game day, depending on what time it starts. Like if it starts if we're away or at home, but I'll give you, like, usually if you were away or something of that nature in a hotel, we'll get up. I'll get up nice and bright and early because I still am watching some film and getting a chance to put the finishing touches on really the order of maybe a order of a play call, so to speak, or something that might arise that I just want to be prepared for, that they have shown maybe 4 or 5 games ago, but want to make sure that we're ready to go. And also I'm getting ready for, we have a offensive team meeting. That offensive team meeting, we want to make sure that, again, all the things that we talked about, have a couple highlights, things of that nature that expresses what we want to get a chance to reiterate for them one last time, what they're going to see, what we anticipate in a certain situation, how we're going to play a situation that comes up. So all the hay's in the barn, but we're re-emphasizing and just making sure that last portion of any questions that the players might have, not only from the meetings. So I get up nice and early. We probably have a quarterback meeting right around 9:00, and then we'll go right into, or 9:30, I should say, and then we have an offensive meeting right around 10:30, something like that. And that will only take right around 30 minutes because they're raring to go, right? So then we'll have a walkthrough, make sure we walk through any things that we need to do, and also play the game, so to speak. Make those calls inside and out, know the situations that arise, and then they're off. You know, we actually have a pregame meal, and we eat, and then depending on when the game's at, the bus will be there. When we get on that bus, and it's time to rock and roll.
Okay, and this is it. Any advice for those who are looking to pursue a career in coaching and football or the sports industry, and where can my audience find you on social media?
You know, pursuing coaching in football, you know, the thing that I've learned from it is that it's everyone I was told by Mark, this Dressman, he goes, everyone loves football, but football loves nobody, you know, and that's true. The business is difficult, but if you get into coaching football for the love of the game and the love of the interaction and the teaching portion, the people of it, that's gonna carry you all the way through. You know, if you're getting into it just because that you want to be in a professional side of it, or Division I side of it, or however you want to do a college side of it, it's not going to last because it's going to drain you. You know, so if you can follow that passion and whatever that passion may be, you know, the people portion of it, the schematic portion of it, all those things that go along, the interaction, with the people in the building, that's where you need to make a connection with it, you know. And also, you know, being able to pursue the career in the sports industry is not only it's for, and I don't know how much it's changed now, but a lot of it was you get started as internships, things of that nature to get your foot in the door. And, you know, I didn't care what, and I still don't, you know, meaning it doesn't matter what the job is. It's not too big and it's not too small. It is truly a servant leadership role. And you can learn that early on and take your ego out of everything. You know, if someone wants coffee, I'm sure as heck going to get that guy that coffee. I'm going to make it the best coffee he's ever had in his life, or she's having in his life, period. You know, and that's also understanding it's not going to just happen right overnight. It's going to take time. There's going to be the ups and downs of your career. I mean, especially in professional, you're hired to be fired, so to speak, you know, and you understand that. But if you're there and you have a higher outlook on things, right, and you start with a passion and energy, because if you can bring that into the building and a smile, and you can make other people smile in the right way of your passion and your energy and your positive influence that just emanates from yourself, I mean, you're going to climb.
And that's what I'm trying to do to get into radio. Even though I'm almost 50, I found that I have a passion, and it's going to take time, and I just have to keep grinding away and working hard and improving every day and continue to learn.
Yes, amen. And it never stops. You know, I just turned 50 myself, and it's always getting a chance to find other people, connect with other people in regards to just trying to find if it's a better way to say something, you know, it's a better way to teach something. It could be just a phrase that I pick up, you know, it doesn't have to be some all-inspiring, grandiose thing. It can just be a simple thing. And but I'm certainly grateful to the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the ownership and Orlando. I'm grateful to get a chance to represent the Tiger Cats in the Hamilton community. I really am. I just love being a part of it. I get a chance to call it home. Hamilton's home, and I'm very thankful.
I might have to sort of root for you guys without telling Mike Hogan or Sean Bowen about you guys, because I've met some people from the Tiger Cats and they've been really great. And I'm going to have to come down to a game this year at Tim Hortons Field. I haven't been there to one since 2017.
Oh, you got to come now. I mean, now that thing, you'll love it. You know that all the tailgating, the Box J boys, there's no place like it now. Yeah. I mean, there's no place like it. Of course, I'm biased. You know what I mean? But it really is. It's a special place. It's a community place, and it represents the hardworking and no entitlement atmosphere. And hopefully, I know that Orlando and the guys want to represent that, and hopefully, the team year in year out represents that attitude.
Well, I'll definitely let you know when I can come down to a game this summer.
Awesome.
And I was going to say, I'm going to let you go because I know it's an important day. I just want to say thank you so much for giving me time, Tommy. And I guess I got your on my ticker where people can follow you on Twitter as well.
Please. Awesome. I really appreciate your time, and thank you, sir.
Thanks, Tommy. We'll keep in touch. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Bye. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my podcast today with Tommy Condell. He's the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the CFL Hamilton Tiger Cats. He was also a part of the Argonauts coaching staff when they won the Grey Cup the last time in 2017 as well. You can check Tommy out on Twitter at Tommy Condell if you'd like to send him a tweet there as well. And I just want to say thank you to everybody watching this live on my YouTube channel. And please subscribe if you haven't. Thank you to those who watched on Facebook Live and on my Twitter page at Chris D. Pame. And also, I'll just put this on here as well. I'm going to wrap up my podcast soon, but you can also follow Live with CDP Podcasts. Listen to it on the audio version is downloaded to Google Podcasts, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, Castbox, and LinkedIn as well. And you can also follow me on TikTok at Live with CDP. That's at Live with CDP on TikTok as well. And also, guys, you can check out the Hamilton Tiger Cats website, tigercats.ca, or you can check out CFL.ca for all the CFL news as well. And let's see, guys, I'm just going to wrap this up soon. Also, guys, you can follow me on wordpress.com/home, Live with CDP podcast. I am now doing daily blogs on there as well if you want to check me out there. So that's wordpress.com/home /Live with CDP podcast as well. And some other CFL news, guys. The Toronto Argonauts last week announced they have signed American quarterback Chad Kelly. Chad Kelly is the nephew of Jim Kelly, the Bills Hall of Fame quarterback. Chad was acquired by the Boatmen in a trade with Edmonton in October 2021. And he's going to come down and fight for a job in Toronto behind Thompson. So Chad had some taste of the NFL with Denver and Indianapolis, but we'll see what happens. He's 27 years old, and we'll see if he can win a job with the Toronto Argonauts and push Bethel McLeod Thompson as well. And some other CFL news, guys. Since we're on the subject, March 25th to the 27th, CFL Combine presented by New Era, Weston Harbor Castle Hotel in Toronto. We'll be doing that on March 25th to 27th. And also, guys, May 3rd, the CFL draft. The first round draft order is the Edmonton Elks, Ottawa Red Blacks, the BC Lions, Montreal selects 4th, Calgary Stampeders 5th, Toronto Argonauts 6th, Saskatchewan Roughriders selects 7th, the Hamilton Tiger Cats select 8th, and back-to-back Grey Cup champion Winnipeg Blue Bombers select 9th as well. And also, guys, May 28th, 1 p.m., Montreal at Hamilton preseason football. And then the Cats are in Toronto on June 3rd to wrap up the preseason game. And also, the Tiger Cats open up the 2022 regular season on Saturday, June 11th against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So, and guys, I think that's pretty well it. One question I wanted to ask you guys, a CDP question of the day, is will there be a 2022 Major League Baseball season, yes or no? If you guys want to comment or send me DMs later, that's great. My answer is I believe there will be, but I don't think it'll start until July. To be honest with you as well. So hopefully it'll be before then. And I'm hoping to go to Detroit for August 6th game. The Tigers in Tampa Bay at Comerica Park, where they're going to retire Lou Whitaker's number one number and name on the wall there. So which is long overdue as well. Anyways, guys, and also last night the Rams won their second Super Bowl in franchise history. The first one was 1999 as the St. Louis Rams, and last night they won 23-20 over Cincinnati. Cooper Kupp won the Super Bowl MVP, and like I said, guys, Cincinnati had their chances, but unfortunately at the end of the game, Aaron Donald pressured Joe Burrow into making a bad throw, and that was the game. So the difference was the Rams got to Joe Burrow 6 times and then pressured him at the end of the game. But overall, it was a pretty good Super Bowl, and I'm happy for Matthew Stafford getting his Super Bowl championship. And he had to win games. He had to win on the road against Tampa Bay. He had to beat a very good San Francisco team, and then he had to have that impressive, 16-play, 75-yard drive for 5 minutes at the end of the game to give them the lead. So Matt Stafford, in his 13 NFL years, now has the same amount of Super Bowl championships as Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers with one. But Stafford came through in the clutch, and he also was doing this without OBJ, who left the game with a knee injury, and he also did it without Robert Woods as well. And he was down 2 of his best receivers, and also they didn't really establish a running game last night, neither team. So congrats to Matthew Stafford, and I do think he will be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame when his career is done, and winning Super Bowls and that kind of a drive cements your legacy as well. And Sean McVay, the head coach of the Rams, is only 36 years old. He's the youngest coach to ever win the Super Bowl at age 36 as well. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap up my podcast. Again, I want to say thank you to my guest, Tommy Condell, the offense coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Please check him out on Twitter at Tommy Condell. Thank you for coming on. And again, I want to say thank you to everyone watching this live on video and later listening to this on audio platforms as well. I do have a couple more podcasts this week. I will announce them hopefully tonight or tomorrow. I've got one from the NFL I'm still trying to confirm, and another one from Major League Baseball as well. But I definitely will be in touch with you guys on my social media pages sometime tonight about my next podcast this week. I've got at least 2 more this week, possibly 3 or 4. So we'll just see what happens there as well. And like I said, again, I hope everybody has a great Monday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day for some of those people that are in relationships or married. And it's going to be about another 161 days until the Philadelphia Eagles start up training camp as well. And let's see, guys. The Gold Storm's next game is this Wednesday night at 7 o'clock against those London Knights. The Storm are 5-1 against the London Knights. And I want to say congratulations to Gold Storm head coach George Burnett, winning his 165th game behind the bench for the Gold Storm. He's the all-time winningest coach in Guelph Storm history at 165, and he's also the 4th winningest coach in junior hockey history as well. So with over 750 plus wins. So I hope the Storm can honor them this Friday night against the Saginaw Spirits. And speaking of that, I will be doing camera work again for Rogers this Friday night, February 18th against the Saginaw Spirits. And hope you guys can tune into Rogers TV for that game and the game on Wednesday night against the London Knights at Budweiser Gardens. So, all right. I'm going to call this a podcast. But again, thank you to Tommy Condell from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And we'll talk to you guys very soon with my next Live with CDP podcast. And just bear with me. And I'm just going to try to confirm with my guest tonight. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Take care and have a great afternoon. And again, thanks for watching and listening to Live with CDP podcast.